Hey, this is Jake here, and today we're going to show you how to patch and repair a tire the right way. So today we're going to show you how we are going to repair a tire with what's called a patch plug. It looks like this. Sometimes a little bit bigger. I'm just using this one for demonstration. They come in different sizes. But if I need to take something that got into my tire, I need to take it out and repair it, we're gonna go through the process of what you do to do that. Let me just run through our tools real quick and what we've got. I've got here a tire spreader. With the tire off, this helps these arms. What they do is these will actually secure the tire, open it up, and lock it in place for allow me to work on what I need to work on. And then some other things you're going to need. You need quite a few things. Of course, you need something to take out whatever got stuck in your tire. If you can pull that with a screwdriver, you need some pliers to take that out. That'll work, but whatever you need. We're also gonna need some chalk to mark where our hole is, to where the repair needs to go. And then we've got something called rubber prep. This is for pre-buffing our inside of our tire. We'll show you that. And we need some type of scraper as well. I basically took a putty knife and I put a little bit of a radius on this edge to use as a scraper. That should work fine, or you can buy one. Either way it will work. And then we've got our buffer here. We've got our drill here for the string part of this. Now they do have a reaming tool you can use. It's kind of like a bit that's coarse. I don't have that. I'm just going to use the bit that will work for us. A clean brush that has never been used on anything else. This is for cleaning away some rubber. We need also our vulcanizing cement. This is different than rubber cement in that this actually chemically adheres the rubber from the patch to the rubber on the tire, so you need something like this. It's called vulcanizing cement. And last but not least, we need our tire stitcher, and I call that the pizza roller, but the right term for this is the tire stitching tool. So those are the items you'll need. So let's show you how it's done. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually find where whatever got into my tire is, whether that's a screw or a nail or whatever, and we're going to go ahead and remove that. Now, I still have the head on this, so I can just take my screwdriver or my cordless and just undo that. So we're just going to take this out. And this is a good time to go over what can be repaired and what cannot be repaired. In general, what can be repaired is from the sidewall edge in 1 inch, approximately here to here. So about usually the width of the palm of my hand is in general a safe area to repair. Anything from here over and on the sidewall is not repairable. That's kind of the standard. So I would not repair anything from this point all the way to where my bead is, but basically where my palm is and center to the tire, that generally is repairable. Number two, if the item is more usually of a 30-degree angle from where it goes into the tire, if I'm at 45 or 50, that generally is not repairable. Third, if this hole is bigger than 1/4 inch, generally it is not repairable. Okay. Also, this stem for us, that hole also cannot be bigger than the diameter of this stem, or else this will not seal for us. But we'll talk about that later, about this stem part and how that's going to help us have a good repair on this tire. So the first thing I'm going to do, again, remove our item from the tire. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take our crayon, and what I like to do is I put an X right where that hole goes into the tire. So I'm going to mark it right across here nice and big, and it's right in the tread, so I'm going to just go like this. That way I know exactly where it is. Then I'm going to come to the inside, and I'm going to try and find that hole, and our hole is right here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put an X right there, and right here, nice and big, because I'm going to be working this area. A lot of this is going to go away, but I need a good idea of where that repair is going to go. So that's step 2, is mark our location where the puncture is. Step 3, we're going to take our buffing solution, and I'm going to pour just a little bit. You don't need much, at least I don't. I'm going to pour a little bit right on that spot. That's plenty. That's actually probably too much. And I'm going to take my scraper. I'm going to have it perpendicular to my tire, so it's going to go at a 90-degree angle right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just scrape this. And what that's going to do, it's going to take this oil off of the inside of where the liner is. It's going to help us get a nice, good contact. That's what we want to start with first. But you can see some of my marker went away, but I still have this on the outside, so I have a good idea of what's going on here. And if you ever feel this you will usually feel oily, and this has a little bit more of a grab. So that's step 3, is we want to use our rubber buffing compound, and we want to take our scraper and scrape that away. Next, we're going to take our buffing tool, and I like using 2 hands, but I'm just going to rough up this area, and I need an area bigger than my patch. So my patch is a 1-inch patch. I'm going to do about a 2-inch diameter area around here to make sure I get everything. And I don't need to go crazy with this because I don't want to really push through the liner. I don't want to get into any of my belts. I just want to rough this up, so I'm going to have good contact and good adhesion between the patch and the inside of the tire here. And that looks pretty good. I need a little bit right there, but the key with this is I don't want to just stay in one area. I want to have the tool always moving side to side or back and forth like this, so I don't take off too much in just one part of the tire. Now I'm going to clean up just a little bit right there. And that looks pretty good. So that's set. So they do sell, it's similar to a drill bit, but it's got an abrasive material just on the shank of this to ream out that hole. But I'm going to use my bit, and I'm going to go through it through the inside a couple times and outside a couple times. So we want to go this way. So I'm going to go through this side as well. Then I'm going to take my wire brush and make sure that's all cleaned off. Okay, so just take your wire brush, brush all that out of the way because I don't want to have any of that contaminate my patch, any of that little pieces of metal or rubber or anything like that. Just going to brush that down. The next thing I'm going to do is put some of this vulcanizing cement right here on that patch area. So I don't need a lot of this. You really don't. I'm going to take most of it off, brush it off one side of my brush. I'm going to take it in here, and I'm going to put a nice, even, light coat. It doesn't need to be really thick, but I'm going to go way beyond my patch. This is about 3x3 area. That's totally fine. Don't even worry about it. But I'm going to brush that on, nice thin coat. And then what I'm going to let that do is I'm going to let that set up for about 30 seconds to a minute. I want it to be tacky. I don't want it to be wet. I want it to be almost dry before I actually attach my patch. While that's curing a little bit, let's talk about this. I've got this plastic on top, and we'll talk about that later. And then I have this protective paper on the bottom where this is going to attach there to the inside of my tire. And right here, if I bend this back, you'll see there's going to be a seam right there. So I usually just kind of give it a pinch like this. That will open it up a little bit, and then I'm going to grab the backing paper off and peel that off. One thing I don't want to do is get my fingers, any oil or dirt on the back side of this, because again, that will contaminate the seal. So we want to be real careful with that. So I'm just going to grab the paper, pull that off. This side very carefully. Just grab a corner, pull that off. Okay. So now we're ready to go. I'm just going to check this, just touch the outside. Again, that's nice and tacky, that's perfect. It's not wet, but it's nice and sticky. That's just how we want it. So the other thing I want to do to help me pull this plug through that hole is I'm going to put a little bit of this vulcanizing cement on the stem here, and that's going to help lubricate it pulling through and help to seal that hole. The reason we use these is because just putting a patch on the inside is not going to actually give us a great repair. It will work on the inside, but if we get water penetration through where that hole is when it rains or snows, that can actually damage the steel belts, and we don't want that to happen because that will compromise our tire. So I'm going to put, it doesn't matter really how much you put on here, because again, this is just to kind of help lubricate the stem as it goes through. So get that all up in there, all over the patch. And again, I don't want to touch the inside, but I'm going to push that little metal clip through right there. And then one tool I didn't mention, you need a pair of pliers or something to pull the tip of that through the back side. So let's pull that through. I'm going to pull it through the bottom. And what I should see when I pull on this is I should see the center of my patch. I should see a dimple in right here. I should see when I pull on the center. And that's how I know I'm all the way to the bottom. So the next step, I'm going to take my stitching tool, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work from one area of the circle all the way to the other area. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to work my way to one side. So we're just going to go towards me first. When I stop, I'm here. I don't stop on the patch, but I'm stop all the way off the patch. I'm going to start in the middle again and work my way to the other side. I'm going to take my tool. I'm going to start in the middle again. I'm going to work my way, go towards me, we'll go right. And then we're going to take it in the middle, work it to the left. Again, I'm all the way off the patch. You can see there's the patch, there's the end of my tool. Then I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to go side to side and then up and down. So I'm going to go start in the middle, work my way right or up, start in the middle, work my way down, start in the middle again, then go right, start in the middle, work my way left. And now that should be attached. So you want to get something sharp very carefully, but I usually take my knife and just kind of pull up this plastic material. I don't pull it from the side, but I try and get it in the center. So grab that, and if I did this right, the whole circumference of this will stick down. It should not come up at all. So I'm going to grab this, work my way around. And you can see all along the circumference of that circle, the whole patch should stick down. If any part of that patch pulls up, that means I didn't do it right. Now, some people like to take some more vulcanizing cement and they'll go around that just for insurance, or there's some other product that helps seal. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. This vulcanizing cement should chemically seal this to this, and we shouldn't have an issue. So the last thing I need to do is just take some diagonal cutters, and I don't want to trim this off or pull on it at all. I just, whatever tension's there, I'm just going to take it, cut it flush with wherever the tread is, and we are done. That's how you patch a tire.